Welcome back. So here in the last video I gave this question to solve it. I hope you have done it. So this was a given question with the position vector 2, -3, 4 and the position vector of B. Let me take it as B. Okay, this is given as B. 3, 2 as well as 1. And they speak about to find the position vector of another point which divides these two points in the ratio 2:1. So previous video we had discussed regarding derivation. So we have the formula for section formula. So I have taken the data, solution begins, vector A and vector B. I asked you not to replace these two, vector A and vector B. So first part I should say internal division, m is to n, the ratio is given. Claim it for the formula. The formula I hope you remember, it's m into vector B plus n into vector A whole divided by m plus n. Putting back the values, m I should say it is 2, n I should say it is 1. And the ratios are given here, vectors are given here, vector A as well as vector B. So putting back the values here, 2 into bracket 3i plus 2j, I have taken vector B here, 3i plus 2j plus k, plus 1, n, 1 into bracket vector A, all the terms to be substituted here, whole divided by 2 plus 1. For the calculation, it's a very simple calculation which resembles almost analytical geometry, but the difference is here, we go for x, y, z at a stretch in the vector method. But in analytical geometry, you people have separate calculation for x, for y and for z or triplet accordingly. So 2 3s I should say it is 6i. Here we have 4j. It is 2 1s are 2k plus it is 2 1s are 2. It's minus 3j plus 4k. Then I simplification should be done first. This is I. So we have 2 here, 2 as well as 6. Simplification begins. We have 8i. 4j corresponding I should say it is minus 3j. We have plus 1j, 2 plus 4 I should say it is 6k, whole divided by 2 plus 1 I have taken for 3. So this is what we expect the position vector of P which divides internally in the ratio 2:1, the given data. So this is the final conclusion what we expect from you, or still if you want to simplify can even take it as a denominator term can be taken for individual numerator, or option I am giving you. You can even conclude the answer by saying it is 8 by 3i plus j by 3 plus 2k. Simplification has been done here and therefore I should say it is 2k. This is also one more way to represent the answer. So for internal division. So provided if you want to go for IJK vector method is one approach. In few books you may find this method also, wherein you need not to say IJK. It is not much difference. It will not make much difference for you. So only thing I should say it is m into vector B plus n into vector A divided by I should say it is m plus n. So vector R, it's OR option. I'm saying it's OR option. So you may find this method also in various reference book, whereas in the textbook they have given this method only. So according to your one more option, if you find in a reference book, the terms I should take it as here m into vector B. Vector B terms I should say it is 3, 2, 1 plus 1 into bracket, it's vector A 2, minus 3, it is 4 whole divided by I should say it is m plus n. So what's the difference here? Here we are not considering IJK. Whereas in the previous method I have taken here IJK and then simplification. Everything will remain same. So I have taken it accordingly. You can make out here. It's 3, 2, 1. It's 3, 2, 1. 2 minus 3, 4. And I should say it is 2 minus 3 and 4. Okay. So all the terms kept as it is. So here I should say it is m value is given to us as 2. So here I find it to be in triplet. I should say it is 6. Here 4. I should say it is 2 plus you may find here of course 1 is multiplied. So 1 is the identity element with respect to multiplication. The terms will remain as it is. So here I should say it is 2 plus 1 and therefore I should say the value is 3. So further triplet simplification, it is 6 plus 2. I should say 8, 4 minus 3 I should say it is 1. It is 2 plus 4 I should say it is 6. Denominator 3 in the triplet manner. Further you can say it is 8i. But last conclusion step, compulsory you have to wind up in terms of vector concept only, whole divided by 3. This should be the answer. So you can't keep this as an answer because we are dealing with the vector chapter and direction has to be linked every time. So this will not be the conclusion step. Simplification you can go for triplet. Simplification will be quite easy. You can avoid the situation of IJK. Everything calculation, both the methods are correct, same only. Only difference is to reduce your time. Okay, you can just go for this option, this method, and finally you have to conclude back in terms of IJK. Should and must. Otherwise, both the methods are one and only one. So external division, okay, the formula will be position vector of Q I have taken because already P has been used for internal division. For Q, I should say vector R is equal to M into vector B minus N into vector A whole divided by its M minus N. So the values to be substituted back here, it's 2 into bracket 3I plus 2J plus K minus 1 into bracket 2I minus 3J plus 4K whole divided by 2 minus 1. Put it back, the value substitute back there. Further calculation, term by term, I should say it is 6I plus 4J plus 2K. Please verify it. Do it from your side. It's a calculation part. We have further 6 plus 2. So 6 minus 2 here we have 4. 4 plus 3 I should say it is 7. It's 2 minus 4. I should say it's minus 2. Denominator anyway we have 1 here. So this is the position vector of Q which divides the given 2 points externally in the ratio 2:1. So this is what we can expect the answer. Okay. So this question carries 3 marks. For examination point of view, either internal they are going to ask you or external they are going to ask you. So internal or external, but 3 marks question it is. So next question we have here, that is based on midpoint formula given. If P is a middle point of AB where the position vectors of A and B are respectively given 3, minus 2, 3 as well as minus 1, 4 and 1, then find the position vector of P. So clearly the terms are there. Clearly the question will be given, if the P is a middle point, find the position vector of midpoint. They are asking us. Provided data is given to us. So we know the formula very well. Position vector of P is nothing but OA vector plus OB vector whole divided by 2. That OA, while deriving, we have denoted it as vector A. While deriving, we have taken this OB vector as vector B. So vector A is given to us, that is 3 minus 2, 3. Vector B is given to us minus 1, 4 and 1. So the values to be taken, formulas to be claimed and put it back, all the values you can make out here. It's 3I, vector A I am substituting here. It's 3I minus 2J plus 3K plus according to formula. As minus is there, I taken one simple bracket here. So even you can open the bracket by claiming straight away minus I also. So it's minus I plus 4J plus K whole divided by it is 2. Of course, your lower mathematics also plays an important role here. So I should say it is 3 minus 1. I should say 2I minus 2 plus 4. I should say it is plus 2J plus 3 plus 1. I should say plus 4K whole divided by 2. So the terms can be still simplified. You cannot keep this as an answer because still 2 can be extracted. Simplification is possible here. So I have taken 2 common, or instead you can claim it here 2 and 2 will reduce provided if I take it for individual terms. And the final answer should say it is I plus J plus 2K. Denominator 2 has been vanished. So this is the answer, midpoint, and this can be given for 1 mark or 2 marks question. So either section formula or midpoint formula or centroid, normally usually find one question based on this in the board exam. So a very simple task and you are familiar with this topic of midpoint, but the only difference is not dealing with XYZ straight away. I, J, K terms include ಮಾಡಿ answer ಬರೀತೀರಾ. So that makes a difference here, but this is very quite interesting topic and easy to remember also. Next question I given here, find the position vector of the centroid of the triangle formed by the points whose position vectors are. So centroid, they are asking for us the position vector of the centroid. 3 vertices have been given to us, 1, 2, 3, minus 1, 2, 1, 3, 5, minus 1. So first recollect the formula and remember always write the formula first because in the scheme of valuation, I repeat, in the scheme of valuation, you find for the formula 1 mark is always allotted. So better, what is steps are given here during the discussion time. Please accordingly you practice it better according to the blueprint of the board exam. So position vector of the centroid, we find first formula as I just mentioned, vector A plus vector B plus vector C whole divided by 3. Where vector A is to be concluded here, it's 1, 2, 3 given data, B and C. So I have taken here in terms of vector notation, vector A I have put it back here, I plus 2J plus 3K plus vector B minus 1, 2, 1 plus vector C I should say 3, 5 and minus 1 whole divided by the formula itself says it is 3. Got it? So simple calculation, you can open the bracket here. Even you can take it as triplet also. If you are convenient with a triplet 1, 2, 3 minus 1, 2, 1 and remember x, 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 y, y, y coordinates, z, z, z to be simplified. Calculation part I will not force you, whereas last part should be mentioned with IJK. So here I have taken IJK according to the textbook pattern I have taken here. So first step I should say I minus I. It will get vanished. I should say 0I plus I should say it is first two terms I'm considering here, it's 4j, plus I should say it is 4k. Last part I have kept it as it is, just to make you understand. So we have 3i plus 5j minus k. Then followed by I and I term has been simplified, which says 3, and 4 plus 5 I should say it is 9, 4 minus 1 I should say it is 3, whole divided by 3. Now 3 is common factor available, still you can take 3 common, and we are left out with finally I plus 3j plus k should be the final answer. I mean position vector of the centroid of a triangle whose vertices are given to us, which we denote them as vector A, B and C. This is the answer. Next question. Find the position vector of the centroid. The position vector of the centroid of triangle is, I repeat, the position vector of centroid of the triangle PQR is, andre position vector of centroid itself is given to us. Got it? Is 3, 1 minus 2 is the position vector of Q and R. So in a triangle PQR, PQR, they are given, the centroid G is given to us, Q is given to us, R is given to us. Obviously the question can be the question to be asked for to find out the position vector of the vertex. Okay, same formula but in reverse gear we'll be using it. So read the question carefully, even the exam hall also. The position vector of the centroid of triangle is 3, 1 minus 2. If the position vector of Q and R, two vertices Q and R are 1 minus 1, 2, 0, 2 minus 3 respectively, then find the position vector of P. See, find the position vector of P. P is nothing but the triangle in a one vertex agide. So first write the formula. Right from beginning I am asking you write the formula first. Then you get what exactly you need to solve it here. Position vector of G, say vector R. I take it as a vector A plus vector B plus vector C whole divided by 3. Where vector A is the position vector of P, which you can claim it as, it's unknown for us, it's a question mark for us, so you can take it as vector A is not known for us. Position vector of A, x, y, z, position vector of B is given 1, minus 1, 2, here Q. R is given to us 0, 2, minus 3, and centroid is also given to us 3, 1, minus 2. This is given to us 3, 1, minus 2. This is not known to us. This is given. This is given. So formula, in the formula all the terms, that given data is sufficient, and let's put the values here, the calculation part. So the centroid has been claimed here 3, 1 minus 2, and A, which is unknown for us, I take in terms of x, y, z, and I should say it's 1, minus 1, 2, and the left out term I should say it is 0, 2 and minus 3. So calculation to be done here, along with x I have taken all the I have taken common. You have x, which you cannot deny, x say plus 1, it is plus 0, reduces to x plus 1 into I cap, it is y minus 1 and plus 2. So the simplification goes to y minus 1 plus 2, it is y plus 1, bracket complete, we have j, so it is z plus 2 minus 3, it is z minus 1 into k cap, whole divided by 3. So once we do the simplification, I, j, k has been reduced. Now you can recollect one more concept which I discussed in the last video maybe, that is the equal vector concept. So in equal vector, whenever two vectors are equal, so here I am claiming this vector is equal to this vector. Obviously I can say by comparing I coefficient with I coefficient, j coefficient with j coefficient, k coefficient, the numerical coefficient with the k numerical coefficient. So by comparing, again I am using the concept of equal vector, which one numerical sum, if I am correct, I had done it in the last video, you can even check it out. 3 is equal to x plus 1 by 3. By comparing I am saying I coefficient x plus 1 by 3. Similarly I should say 1 is equal to y plus 1 by 3. Minus 2 is equal to z minus 1 by 3. So once we have this calculation, easily can wind up for x. The target is to find x, y, z. So 3 3s are cross multiplying. It's a simple equation. I can call this as a linear equation in one variable, which you know it very how to solve. It is 9 minus 1. X is equal to 8. It is 3 minus 1. I should say y is equal to 2. It is minus 6. It is plus 1. So minus 5. So x, y, z values are respectively 8, 2 and minus 5. So last year conclusion correct kodi, this position vector of P is 8, 2, minus 5, or why I should say it's or, you have to express the answer in terms of vector form only. It's 8i plus 2j minus 5k. This is the way you have to conclude the answer even in the exam also. So direction go further. Okay, this is what we have given. Few questions are taken on section formula for internal division, for external division, and of course midpoint formula and centered also we have concluded. Shortly in exercise 10.2 we'll be solving few more questions. But still you have not completed all the topics of exercise 10.2. One more small topic to be discussed here, that is direction cosines and direction ratios. Once this topic is over, then you are eligible to go for exercise 10.2. So exercise 10.2, it includes the sums on position vector, which already we have discussed, collinear condition, which already we have discussed, followed by section formula, centroid formula, midpoint formula, and even this topic also. So all this topic will make you eligible to go for exercise 10.2. So I think next video can discuss, but today we'll let me wind up by defining the direction cosines and direction ratios. A very important term. So direction cosines of a vector, the definition says, consider OP vector as vector A with the triplet given to us. The components are given to us, x into I cap plus y into j cap plus z into k cap. Let alpha, beta, gamma be the angles made by this vector A with the coordinate axis x, y, z and z axis respectively. Then these angles are called as directional angles, and cos alpha, cos beta, cos gamma are called as direction cosines of the vector A, such that cos alpha is x upon the magnitude of vector A, cos beta is y, I hope you can make out, it is y upon magnitude of vector A, cos gamma is z upon magnitude of vector A, where magnitude of vector A is nothing but formula root of x square plus y square plus z square. So direction cosines are usually denoted by L, M, N. So it's a definition, and I think next video let me give the explanation for this. And direction ratios of a vector, any three numbers which are proportional to the direction cosines of a vector are called as direction ratios, and numbers such as A, B, C, okay, one more definition I given here, numbers A, B, C which are proportional to LMN are called as direction ratios. That is L by M, the ratio stands here, L by A is equal to M by B is equal to N by C is equal to K. So these are two definitions. One term is direction cosine and one more direction ratio. Definition, hardly we have seen, they asked for the definition of direction cosines and direction ratio. But this concept of direction cosine and direction ratio clearly have to understand, properly have to understand, because in three-dimensional geometry, once again this chapter plays a very important role in the case of understanding the three-dimensional geometry terms and everything. So there also once again we'll begin the 3D topic also with the same topic. So first just copy the notes here. I think next video let me go for the explanation of this. But to give a short clue, let me give you that in analytical geometry, okay, every time I'm speaking about analytical geometry, that means analytical geometry will act as a base for this. In analytical geometry, you people have taken a very important term for a straight line, that was slope. I hope you remember. So slope was very important term which we have taken there. Slope was very important term which we have taken there in analytical geometry. So if I'll begin with our axis, here we have x-axis, here we have y-axis, and I hope remember, if I'll consider straight line, say straight line L, then for this straight line we have three terms, a very important three terms to be remembered. One, its equation, and regarding equation only last year people had done how to find the equation of straight line. Maybe it's point slope form, 2-point form, slope intercept form, or to intercept form and normal form. So equation plays a very important role, and finally I should say it is ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. This type of an equation always represents a straight line. Then comes regarding the points. So normally we say x comma y is a point, x comma y is a point, x comma y is a point. There are so many points on the straight line, and we normally say it's a point is denoted as x comma y. Apart from these two, any straight line is having its own reference, that is slope, okay, which I define it as tan theta definition. So in simple words, if I have to speak about your language, ನಿಮ್ಮ language ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, see, whenever a straight line is there, straight line, we have three reference for it. One, maybe this is, I can call it as, there are so many straight lines, so many straight lines, so many straight lines, so many straight lines. So I can call this as Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, I can call this as Shah Rukh Khan, I can call this as, of course, Sumangla also, and maybe you also. Okay, so what exactly we are going to have the reference antandaga, see Amitabh Bachchan is going to have his own name, then parts of the body, maybe hand, leg, eyes and so on. It's a part of the body with these points, and apart from these two reference, even he is having a very important reference, that is Aadhaar card number. I repeat, it is Aadhaar card number. So as Amitabh Bachchan is having his own Aadhaar card number, the question is how this number has been given to him. So this number has been given, I'm just giving an example, just take it lightly. See, there are two axes, I should say it is x-axis as well I should say it is y-axis. So let me, for your convenience, I am saying x-axis I'll call it as central government and y-axis I'll call it as state government. So central government, with the central government, whatever the angle has been inclined, with respect to this angle, the straight line is making, for that we have applied tan function. So tan theta, I should say it is tan 30 degree, tan 60 degree. What is the angle we have here? So that particular value, I may get here tan 30 degree, I may get here tan 45 degree and so on. The values can be taken as 1, the values can be taken as root 3, the value can be taken as 1 by root 3, the value can be 0, the value can be infinity, any value, because tan function range I am speaking about. Tan function overall, I should say range, is minus infinity to plus infinity. Any number minus infinity ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು plus infinity ವರೆಗೂ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು number ಅನ್ನು ಕೂಡ I should say it is acting as a slope here. I don't know how far you're able to understand, but a simple task I'm giving you, simple way, you can just pause to replay ಮಾಡಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಕೇಳಿ ನೋಡಿ. You'll understand. So for any straight line has got three important reference. Equation, point and slope. Equation, point and slope. Slope plays a very important role for a straight line because slope will further help us in finding out its equation. Slope will also help us in finding out the angle between two lines, which I used last year also. That is tan theta is equal to, we have used the formula m1 minus m2 divided by 1 plus m1 into m2 mod sine. So angle between two lines, slope plays an important role. Slope will also help us in finding out whether two lines are parallel. I mean m1 is equal to m2. m1 into m2 is equal to minus 1 is a perpendicular condition and so on. So slope plays a very important role. Similarly, what the slope is playing the job in a two-dimension, what is slope is playing important role, the same in three-dimension, I should say, along with this m, even L and N, I mean LMN are playing an important role. So next video let me discuss what do you mean by LMN and how this LMN is acting as a elder sister for this M, that is younger sister, which already I discussed in 2D geometry, I mean in coordinate geometry last year. So we'll continue the next video.